Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Math with Mullins. Today we're looking at the multiple choice final review. This is semester 2, and we'll just be going over day 1, this is day 2, but day 1 of multiple choice. So we're going through the first 3 pages. So let's talk about number 1. The diagonal of a square is 6 units. Its perimeter is what? So we just need to know, thinking about x, and a 6. So we know x squared plus x squared could be equal to 6 squared, or 2x squared is equal to 36. We might be thinking about 2, if we want to divide by 2, x squared is equal to 18, and then we would just find the square root of 18, okay? The square root of 18 is going to be a decimal, 4.24, so we just have to figure out, well, which one of these is 4.24? It's not 24, 18, or 12, so it probably is letter A. If we just take into account the square root of 2 and then times that by 12, you're going to get roughly the perimeter, which is 16.97. And if you do 16.97 divided by 4 sides, you're getting roughly 4.24. Okay, so again, this is the perimeter. If you divide this number by 4, that tells you the side lengths of each square, which is 4.2. Number 2, a standard equation of a circle whose center is negative 4, 3. So that means this should be x plus 4, y minus 3. And then we're squaring our radius. It should be letter B right here. 3, a 25.5 foot ladder rests against the side of a house at 24.1 feet above the ground. The foot of the ladder is x feet from the house. Find the value of x to 1 decimal place. This is just your Pythagorean theorem. X squared plus 24.1 squared is equal to 25.5 squared. And you should get around 8.3 when you are done. Find the length of a 40-degree arc in a circle with a radius of 4. So for this one, that is when we're going to use 40 out of 360. And then is equal to x out of 2 times pi times radius, okay? So we're essentially cross-multiplying here. We've got 3, or trying to get x by itself, my bad. So we're multiplying both sides by 2, pi, and 4. So we should get 320 pi over 360, because 2 times 4 is 8, and 8 times 40 is 320 pi. And then I'm simplifying that to 8/9 pi. So letter D. Number 5, Loyola drives up 12 kilometers up a hill that is at a grade of 12 degrees. What horizontal distance to the nearest tenth of a kilometer has she covered? This one we're looking at the cosine, because cosine is adjacent to hypotenuse. So the cosine of 12 is equal to x over 12 kilometers. When you multiply those, you're getting around 11.7. So cosine 12 times 12 is around 11.7. Number 6, a worker in the assembly line takes 8 hours to produce 24 parts. So this one can be found by setting up a proportion. At this rate, how many parts can she produce in 16 hours? So we're just solving for x. 24 times 16. And then dividing by 8, we're getting about 48 parts. Okay. 7, the volume of the right cylinder below is about blank degrees, or blank meters. That's area of the base times the height. So that's pi times 6.5 squared times 8. So 3.14 times 6.5 times 6.5 times 8. We're getting about 1061.32, or 1061.9 if you're using just your pi symbol. On the next page, in the diagram, the measure of angle 1 is less than the measure of angle 2, so which of the following statements must be true? Question mark. If the measure of angle 1 is lower than the measure of angle 2, then that means AD should be less than CD, which is option C, because those are angles right across from angles 1 and 2. A set of Pythagorean triples is going to be 5, 12, and 13, letter D. These, if you simplify, this is a 2, a 3, and a 4, and that's not a Pythagorean triple. Find the value of x to 1 decimal place. So x is here, which is that degrees we're missing. So we want to think about 41.9 is with 22.3, right? So x can be with 10.1. So we're just cross multiplying 41.9 times 10.1 and then dividing that by 22.3. So 41.9 times 10.1 divided by 22.3 is going to give us about 18.97. So we'll round that to C, 19. Which values can represent the side lengths of a triangle? That just means we're adding the two lowest amounts and it should be greater than the third amount. If I start with letter A, 9 plus 11 is 20 and that's not greater. Then I go to B, 10 plus 12 is 22 and that is greater than 21. Just for kicks and giggles, 3 plus 9, not greater than 12, and then 3 plus 7 is not greater than 10. 12, choose a statement that is referring to the figure. Is CD equal to BA? Well, CD and BA are not on the same side, so it can't be A. AC is a diameter. Possibly could be true because it's being bisected by this 90-degree angle. BAD is a minor arc. Nope, that's a major arc, and then BCD is a minor arc, so it has to be letter B. A park has a circular swimming pool. The diameter of the pool is 20 meters. What's the distance traveled if you swim around the edge of the pool once? This is circumference is equal to pi times diameter. So we're doing 3.14 times 20, and that's going to give you 62.8. Area for next one of number 14 should be pi times 3.2 squared. So 3.14 times 3.2 times 3.2, I'm getting about 32.156 or 1536. The sum of the measures of the interior angles of a convex quadrilateral is 360. It's still a quadrilateral, so that means four-sided. So you can do 180 times 4 minus 2 or 180 times 2. Order the sides of the triangle from shortest to longest. Well, 45 degrees is the smallest angle. So SQ would be the first one. Across from 65 would be RQ. That'd be number 2. And then the last one would be RS at 70 degrees. That would be option C. The measure of each interior angle of a regular hexagon, again, that's 180 times 6 minus 2, and then divide by 6, and you're going to come up with a 120 degrees. Solving for x in the parallelogram below, we know that two consecutive interior angles of parallelogram are equal to 180, so I'm just adding those together. 102 minus 2 is 100, and then I'd subtract 100 from both sides. So I get 8x is equal to 80, so x must be a 10. And then our final page 3 for today, the tangent of angle B is opposite over adjacent, so that is the square root of 95 over 7. Number 20, in a 45-45-90 triangle, the ratio of the length of the hypotenuse to the length of a side is the square root of 2 to 1. That's our special triangle. That's on your formula or your theorem sheet for chapter 10, where you have this going on here. Okay, so it's an additional times square root of 2. 21, the figure below shows a triangle with the centroid, which is the exact middle of Q. Find QE if UE is equal to 3. So if UE is equal to 3, that means we've got UE is equal to 3. That means it's like 1 or 2/3 of the way over, and QE is only 1/3. So if UE is separated into 3 separate parts, QE would just be 1/3 of that, which is 1, letter A. Okay. 22, the area of the shaded region. This is when we want to use our formula. So I have area over pi times 7 squared is equal to 60 over 360, which essentially you are doing 60 divided by 360 and then timesing it by the area. So initially we learned it like this: 60 over 360 times pi times 49. Okay, so 60 divided by 360, you can do that first, and then times by pi, and then times by 49. I'm getting about 25.64, which is going to be closest to 25.66. Using the diagram to find the measurement of angle P, this is when we take 1/2 of the big arc, 98, minus the small arc of 20, and we're going to get 1/2 of 78, which is A, 39 degrees. 24, given circle Q and the measurement of angle B being 62, find AC. That's just when you take 2 and multiply it by 62, since Q is the center of the circle. To find the intercepting arc from that inscribed angle, we're just doubling it, so we should get D, 124. Finding the length of PQ, so PQ is going to show us something similar to what we're seeing with IK. That is just going to be 1/2 of 4, since it's bisecting here. So that'll be B2. 26, this messed up when I printed this. These are all degree measurements. ECD is what we're looking at, but you notice how ECD is this inscribed angle, so it's half of the arc. So 118 divided by 2 is 59 degrees. And that'll be the conclusion of day 1. So we'll pick up tomorrow again for end of day 2. We'll pick up the following day when we finish up our remaining of multiple choice. Have a great day.